Nowadays, all of us live in a society and a world which is in a constant change. For example, at this current point of time, the people are getting rid of every single one of the standards of the perfect life because they don't feel comfortable with it. But it is important to remember that they had some values and some ethics that gave our society some kind of order. But nowadays, our life is extremely different than it was 30 years ago. One of the best examples will be if a woman doesn't get married or have kids by the age of 40. She might be judged in a society as a weird person who didn't accomplish her objectives, or assuming that a person that has more than 100,000 likes on Instagram must be popular and must have a lot of friends. Or even if a person says that he is chubby, but he is in a good health, who am I to tell him that he's wrong? Thankfully, some of those superficial standards are disappearing for being more human, and nowadays they are viewed as something that is not meant to follow to the letter. But that means that we are destroying our society by forgetting our values, or we have some values and some ethics that tell us not to do something to avoid problems and have a better life. Maybe it's not of our business to supervise and criticize the way of living of any person if it doesn't affect us. All of these concepts are related to Kant's categorical imperative, which basically means act in such a way that your criteria you have chosen can become a universal law that everyone must follow or do it. In other words, act how you want to be treated. For many years, people assumed that the image was automatically proportional to the situation of a person. So, using the example of the person that is chubby, I shall tell him that he is not in a good health, or shall I tell him that he is fat and will probably die of diabetes, or shall I tell him that it's okay? Well, according to Kant, when you don't know how to act on a different situation, you can rely on ethics, because they can tell you what to do, and he will tell us, is it the way you want to be treated? Also, another thing that is important to mention here in ethics is how do we know that this is good or wrong for a society? How do we gather this knowledge to say so? Well, that can be based on an empirical or a rational thinking. One says that you gather those information because of experience, and the other one because you sense it. For example, if you're fat, you feel heavy. But also, if you see a fat person, you can feel that he is heavy. But also, if you might have seen a documentary of an autopsy that the people with overweight and obesity, you can see all the amount of fat in the body and how it does it affect our body. And that's how you can gather information to take a better decision, to tell if something is good or bad based on your experience or in your senses. It is truly a dispute between the new and old ethical systems, but even if we build a new system, some of these questions, of ethical questions mainly, will remain unsolved. To conclude with this topic, I would like to say that some of this classical philosophy can help us to make an important decision, an accurate decision, a good decision in those times that we are living. And we must know that based on our knowledge and wisdom, what is good and wrong for a human being. And also we can relate it to history to not repeat the same mistakes. Some of these thoughts are good to eliminate from our society, but others are not. Because some of them were based on hate, like homophobia or fatphobia, and others with the best intentions to say like a person that he has wasted her time doing whatever that wasn't accomplished a family or an objective, because that can feel nice to other people, but for me it doesn't make any sense. And finally, it is important to construct a new ethical society, but we need to be in a constant review of it, and sometimes we need to innovate ways to solve this problem so we can achieve a better world and we can have a better life. Thank you.